the news tonight, 10th time African champions. 10-time African champions, President Tinubu receives Super Falcons, honors them with cash prizes and housing.
It is a triumph of courage, determination, discipline and consistency. It made us very, very proud.
United Nations Food System Summit underway in Addis Ababa. Nigeria matches words with action on food security.
Nigeria is ready to listen. Nigeria is ready to learn. Nigeria is ready to lead wherever leadership is required.
Ray of hope for inmates as new energy partnership lights up the nation's correctional system.
The next round of deployment of mini-grid, the correctional services will be included.
Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. We're live with stories making the rounds and the latest updates from across Nigeria. I'm Naja Atutujani. Tonight's lineup is exciting. And joining me live from our Abuja studios, Musa Abubakar with business news. Musa?
Equities market begin the week in positive territory as Standard Organization of Nigeria takes campaign to electronics market in Zuba.
Thank you, Musa. And as usual, sports highlights with the Super Falcons in focus. Ayo.
Well, it's a great day for the 10-time African champions as they receive the presidential honor in quite some style.
Thank you, Ayo. We look forward to the details, and this newscast is always live on our website, nta.ng/live. NTA is also on X as NTA News Now, and you can follow us across social media. Our other handles are displayed on the screen. Let's get started. The Super Falcons of Nigeria have been celebrated with a presidential reception for winning the Women's African Cup of Nations Championship in Morocco. President Bola Tinubu and First Lady Oluremi led the grand reception at the State House for the 10-time African champions. State House correspondent Musbau Danwahab reports.
The African champions arrived into the waiting hands of First Lady Oluremi.
Congratulations. You can't carry this on. Let me see.
It was a moment she longed for, following the incredible performance of the Nigerian ladies at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. And the proud mother of the nation presented the victorious ladies to the president.
Your triumph at the 2024 Women African Cup of Nations in Morocco was not just a win, but a testament of resilience, teamwork, and determination. You played with passion, confidence, and an unshakable belief in yourselves that it is not over until it is over. The zeal you displayed on the pitch was nothing short of inspirational. I say to you all, well done.
Like other Nigerians, the president narrated his anxious experience during the final encounter.
Honestly, I didn't want to watch the match. I didn't want high blood pressure. But our people came in and turned my TV on to that channel. When it was 2-0, I got very offended and restless. But I was there still watching. The indomitable spirit of resilience, determination and courage.
President Tinubu commended the resilient spirit of the ladies, upturning a looming defeat in the first half, which later led to victory for the country.
Your victory represents more than the sport accomplishment. It is a triumph of courage, determination, discipline, and consistency. You made us very, very proud.
For doing the nation proud, the president conferred national honor of OON on each of the players and the technical crew of the team, among other rewards.
In addition, there is a cash award of the Naira equivalent of $100,000 each. For the 24 players.
This is indeed a momentous moment for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. We have won this title now for the 10th time. This is the first time that a presidential reception will be hosted for the girls by the president in a state house, and with a heart full of gratitude and appreciation for what these girls have done in Morocco.
We see how the youth of this country are courageous. This is a golden feeling for all the Nigerian youth. And this is a message that whatever we know how to do best, we should just keep on doing it. We should put our commitment, we should put our courage.
From the State House, Muspa, then Wahab, NTA News.
Earlier on, Abuja stood still and then erupted Monday afternoon as Africa's undisputed queens of football, the Super Falcons, touched down after their glorious WAFCON conquest. Correspondent Bade Adeleye was at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, where triumph descended from the skies in a jet-laced shower of pride and purpose. Bade, take us to the runway of champions.
As early as 9 in the morning, football enthusiasts, sports stakeholders, high-ranking government officials, and members of the sports media had arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, defying a heavy downpour to welcome their history makers. At exactly 2:30 in the afternoon on Monday, the aircraft conveying the victorious Super Falcons broke through the Abuja sky and landed not just with wheels, but with history tucked in its belly. As they returned from Morocco, the tarmac itself rolled out a wet red carpet, a ceremonial water salute, washing the fuselage in the language of honor. And then the Falcon stepped out, with medals glinting, eyes gleaming, and hearts full. At the middle of them all stood one figure who held the moment still, Rasheedat Ajibade, the captain, conqueror, and Nigeria's Flying Falcon, holding the coveted trophy. Colorful traditional dancers welcomed the players. Trumpets and talking drums sang in harmony as the tarmac transformed into a theater of rhythm, while the chorus from the fans echoed their unfiltered love.
Oh, it's so good. I've never had better support than the Nigerian fans.
I feel happy. I'm excited for life.
Leading the federal government delegation was the secretary to the government of the Federation, Senator George Akume. His presence wasn't just symbolic, it was presidential, reflecting the premium the administration places on sports.
You know, the determination of the president to see the growth of sports in Nigeria. This is what is happening now, and we're going to see more of it. This is just one sector. It's happening in all the other sectors.
But what I saw in Morocco seems to show that we now have a bench that can read the matches and can bring some changes, that were necessary.
Football is one of the few things that unite the country. And with this victory, it means that the unity of the country is intact.
10-time champions, one united team, from Morocco's battleground to Abuja's embrace. The Falcons have not just returned, they've soared into legendary status. As the team made their way to the presidential villa for a formal reception, the message was clear, from the skies to the streets. Nigeria's Super Falcons, the 10-time African champions have truly landed. In Abuja, Bade Adeleye, NTA News.
Thank you, Badi. Now joining us via Zoom to celebrate this wonderful feat and discuss the future of female football is the General Secretary, Nigerian Football Federation, Dr. Mohammed Sanusi. Thank you and congratulations, Doctor.
My sister, and we also congratulate you for following our activities and for making sure that whatever we did was aired to Nigerians.
Thank you, Doctor. President Tinubu rewarded the Super Falcons with honors never before seen. I mean, $100,000 for 24 players. What does this say about the importance of women football in national development?
Well, it's a lot. Just like I said, football is one of the few things that unite the country, and therefore acknowledging the good work done by these players is inspiring and motivating. And I believe the players have also made commitment that they will continue to do their very best to make sure that they move the country forward. Equally, it is a source of motivation to upcoming players who would want to take football as a career. And I believe that to be appreciated by your country for a good job means a lot to all of them. We are here now at the reception. All of them are singing songs of the good things that are done to them.
I'm glad you mentioned that this will be an inspiration to future players. Now, what does this mean for any aspiring, especially the girls at the grassroots? How will this make an impact on the selection process and the training of these young girls?
Well, it means that whatever you are doing, of course, you must put in your very best to make sure that you excel. These girls started as kindergarten girls, some of them from schools and some of them from the localities. And because they put up their very best, they were discovered by their coaches and eventually discovered by national team coaches. It was true that they were able to, some of them, get clubs outside the country. And of course, that was what translated in the victories they are having and the victories that the country is having. Of course, the presence of facilities, as you said, is very important. And I believe that even government has made commitment that facilities will be made available. And I believe the present National Sports Commission is working assiduously to make sure that they provide good facilities that the upcoming players can use. Because in the talent discovery and nurturing, there has to be facilities for you to do that.
Finally, Dr. Sanusi, where does this recognition put the Super Falcons in light of the 2027 FIFA World Cup? Doctor.
Well, you know, I said when I was interviewed that it is easier to set a record but difficult to maintain the record. So what it means is that they need to double up their record, their effort, because next year's African Cup of Nations is the one that will qualify the 4 teams that will represent Africa in the World Cup. So if you are not among the 4 teams that reach the semi-final, you will not be at the World Cup. So what it means is that they have been recognized by the country, and a lot is expected from them, and I believe they will live to that expectation.
Indeed, Doctor, to whom much is given, much is expected. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
I've been speaking with the General Secretary of the Nigerian Football Federation, Dr. Mohammed Sanusi, on what the Super Falcons' victory means for female football in the future. And now for more, let's join Ayo DG Makinde for more sports action. Ayo, you know there's a saying in the newsroom, right, that we coined this morning, that what an athlete can do, the Super Falcons can do better.
Well, I think it's better said that what the Super Eagles cannot do, the Super Falcons have done better. I take a bow. Well, let's start from other sports and talk about basketball, where Nigeria's D-Tigress are through to the quarterfinal of the FIBA Women's Afro-Basket after winning a tight contest against Mozambique 60 to 55 points at the Palais de Trecqueville in Abidjan. Mozambique got off to a strong start, outpacing the defending champions 13-9 in the first quarter. The second quarter was tightly contested, ending in a 15-all draw, allowing Mozambique to hold a slim 28-24 lead at halftime. In the third quarter, Mozambique initially stretched the advantage with a swift 7-0 run, but the Tigers fought back fiercely, outscoring their rivals 18-15 points. They closed the gap to just 1 point by the end of the quarter. Now let's talk about football. The Nigeria Football League new season is scheduled to kick off on August 22. The announcement was made during the annual general meeting and draw of the MPFL, led by chairman of the board, Benga Elegbeleye, who raised concerns regarding the league's sponsorship. In the opening match of the season, defending champions Remo Stars will face Rivers United in the standout matchup of the day.
My major concern now is not about club winning the league. I'm very, very worried about clubs going to the continent and not doing well. And again, when you look at a scenario for now, you cannot blame these clubs. It takes a lot to buy players. Players who are playing, they are actually working to earn a living, and they have families and projects to execute themselves. They have aspiration. So definitely, you will expect them to increase pay. And most of these clubs don't really have the money because we are still talking of sponsors.
MPFL draws there. And you're watching the network news here on the NTA. Let's go for a break. When we return, Naja Atu will be back with the rest of the news. Stay tuned.
Nigeria has initiated the signing of a memorandum of understanding with Dalberg Group and Campo Group, as the Organization of Southern Cooperation has chosen Nigeria as the site to build its first ever South-South Technology Transfer Center for Africa. Vice President Kashim Shettima made this known during a meeting with the consortium on the sidelines of the ongoing United Nations Food Systems Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Vice President Kashim Shettima is optimistic that Nigeria can plant 20 billion trees if Ethiopia, a hilly country made up of highlands and mountains, can succeed in planting 46 billion trees. Reiterating Nigeria's commitment to the Green Revolution initiative, the Vice President described President Bola Tinubu as a transformational leader committed in redefining the meaning and concept of leadership in Africa.
We hope to plant 10 billion trees. We'll completely mobilize the entire national architecture. Yeah. We might fall short of that ambition, so be it.
Yeah, exactly.
But we have to aim at the sky. Yeah. And we have been led far behind. We ought not to be where we are now, honestly.
Now's the time to take advantage.
Honestly, we ought not to be where we are. And the president is determined to change the narrative. And we'll support him in whatever way we can for his administration to actualize our dreams.
Meanwhile, the Organization of Southern Cooperation has sought the support of the Nigerian government to establish the South-South Technology Transfer Centers designed to facilitate exchange of technology among its member states. Vice President Shettima urged the OSC to look inward and come up with solutions to address the developmental challenges among its member states, noting that the South constitutes more than 70% of the global population.
The president has initiated a lot of bold reforms in the education sector, the student loans facility, that is making education possible for indigent students from poor homes. We are investing massively in our educational institutions, but most importantly, we can partner with you. Whoever that brought up with the idea of OSC deserves a Nobel Prize for Peace, because that will advance the cause of global amity, global peace and stability.
The Secretary General added that one of the key projects the organization plans to execute in the next 3 years is the establishment of the South-South Technology Transfer Centers. Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Nigeria has moved from dialogue to action in its policies towards food security. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this at the opening of the ongoing United Nations Food Systems Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Benny Adams reports.
Nigeria's vice president and leader of the Nigerian delegation to the second United Nations Food Systems Summit stocktake in Addis Ababa, Senator Kashim Shettima, has joined global leaders in sharing experiences of impact and the need to scale up finance and investment towards attaining a sustainable food system.
Nigeria is ready to listen. Nigeria is ready to learn. Nigeria is ready to lead wherever leadership is required. We are here to champion food systems that are resilient in the face of climate shocks, responsive to nutritional needs, and rooted in local realities. We are here because we believe that the arc of history does not only bend towards justice, it bends towards food justice. Let us live at this, not with diplomatic pleasantries, but with a conviction. A broken food system in any part of the world diminishes the dignity of humanity as a whole. Let us rise with a shared purpose.
For Nigeria, advancing the transformation of the coffee value chain, in addition to consolidating on commitments towards building resilient, inclusive, and sustainable food systems, is key.
Administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu has invested in agriculture much more than any other administration in its first 2 years of its life. We could see the mechanization, we could see input support. We have been able to do that and achieve that, and that's why we have a lot of production, good harvest in 2024 that has stabilized prices. We are on the same trajectory to achieving food security and on to food sovereignty.
With the conversation ongoing here in the next 2 days with Vice President Kashim Shettima leading the Nigerian delegation, the vision here is clear. Government, the private sector, as well as development partners must aggregate finances and investments worth over $400 billion annually to ensure a high-performing food systems globally. From the UN building in Addis Ababa, Benny Adams, NTA News.
Thank you, Benny. In an age of rising financial risks, from cyber fraud to failing banks, protecting depositors has become a national security issue. And that's why the Senate Committee on Banking and Insurance, NDIC, and other financial institutions have convened in a strategic retreat, mapping out a new path for oversight, stability and legislation which puts the Nigerian depositor first. Musa Abubakar reports.
Private economy, trust in the banking system is not optional. It is essential. In Nigeria, that trust is tested daily by inflation, by fraud, by failed financial institutions. But in the shadows of uncertainty, one institution stands guard, the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC. At a time when the global financial landscape is shifting, the NDIC has invited lawmakers from the Senate Committee on Banking for strategic retreat, a critical forum designed to align regulatory action with legislative vision. The goal: strengthen oversight, promote financial system stability, and ensure that Nigerian depositors are never left behind.
We've had the charge around needing to review our risk management system. As things develop, especially cyber security, we need to be up and doing, and we would address those significantly. They are part of the vision that we have for the organization. We thank you for the support of the National Assembly in terms of the legislative support that we get, and also the cooperation and collaboration that we get.
Beyond normal challenges that banks will ordinarily have, we are having challenges around cyber attacks and all of that, and I'm sure it's part of what you are going to build into managing the risks of some of the banks that of the banking sector.
In the past, the collapse of several banks left many Nigerians devastated. But behind the scenes, the NDIC was there, stepping in swiftly to reimburse depositors, manage resolutions, and bring stability to chaos. The retreat is about creating a stronger system where such financial trauma is rare and where responses are faster, smarter, and fairer. In Abuja, I am Musa Bakar, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Director General, Bureau of Public Procurement, Adebowale Adedokun, says Nigeria will now apply sanctions to ministries, departments and agencies which do not prioritize local products over foreign goods in their procurement processes under the renewed Hope at Nigeria First policy. This was disclosed during the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between the BPP and the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure to kickstart the policy implementation. Ekene Udului reports.
In May 2025, the Federal Executive Council approved the Nigeria First policy, placing local content at the heart of government spending. The Bureau of Public Procurement, the agency responsible for enforcing procurement regulations across ministries, departments and agencies, is now set to lead the implementation. A newly signed Memorandum of Understanding between the BPP and the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, marks the formal commencement of this policy. Under the agreement, innovations developed by NASENI will be prioritized in procurement plans nationwide.
The whole idea is to reduce poverty. The whole idea is to bring back industrialization in this country. You recall that a lot of industries have gone moribund over the years. With this policy, it's an incentive.
So far, we have over 40 market-ready products at NASENI, and we can't wait to get them in the hands of Nigerians.
As implementation begins, federal government is calling on all MDAs to comply with the directive and embrace homegrown innovations as a cornerstone of national development. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
And now let's join Musa Abubakar for more business news. Musa?
Thank you, Naja. Let's do business. The Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, has taken its campaign for safer products to the grassroots, holding a one-day sensitization exercise at the electrical and electronics market in Zuba, Abuja. The initiative aims to promote standards, quality assurance, and use of certified electrical products to boost consumer safety and economic growth.
Let me emphasize that the eradication of substandard product is not a task for SON alone. It requires the active partnership of stakeholders like you.
The explosion, house burning because of our past my neighbor. Yes. So we cannot fold our hands. We need the standard as stipulated has given you what to do.
Whether they are locally manufactured or imported into the country, as long as they are meant for the Nigerian market, they must conform to the minimum requirement of the Nigerian industrial standards.
Now we know. Anything we are buying from Lagos, from Kano, from Kaduna, we know now that this is the standard, this is not the standard.
And out of stock market, the Nigerian equities market closed on a bullish note as key indicators pointed to investor confidence and renewed buying interest. The all-share index surged to 135,166.51 points, reflecting gains across several blue-chip stocks. The strong performance pushed the market capitalization to an impressive 85.46 trillion naira, underscoring growth, market depth, and resilience. A total of 795.59 million shares were traded in 37,626 deals, with the total value of transactions standing at 23.23 billion naira, highlighting robust participation from both institutional and retail investors. Now that concludes our business news. Naja, it's over to you.
Thank you, Musa. 26 people who wore life jackets are the survivors of the Zumba boat mishap, which occurred on Saturday in Shiroro local government area of Niger State, resulting in casualties. 3 others are still unaccounted for. The National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, says the tragic incident goes further to reinforce the importance of wearing life jackets. Mercy Fabi reports.
A week after the sensitization and distribution of life jackets by the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, Shiroro local government area of Niger State has recorded another boat mishap, resulting in casualties. The boat, carrying 43 passengers, more than 50 bags of paddy rice, 3 cows and 2 rams from Shaita, en route weekly quarter market in Zumba on Saturday afternoon, reportedly struck a tree log and capsized. A team from the Niwa Niger Kwara area office and other agencies on search and rescue operation recovered 15 bodies. 26 others were rescued alive, while 3 people are still missing. However, all the grains on board, including the animals, were lost to the boat's mishap.
I am one of the people in the boat. When the boat hit tree log and people were falling inside the water, I lost my 30-year-old son to the boat mishap.
Representative of the Niger Kwara area manager Niwa say the 26 survivors were on life jackets.
We are still soliciting and begging the people to see the importance of using life jacket whenever they want to boat, but still yet people find it difficult.
Efforts are still on to recover the remaining 3 missing people. Mercy Fabi, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu extends heartfelt sympathies to the communities and families of victims affected by the recent flood disaster in Yola, Adamawa State, and the victims of the boat mishap in Guni Village, Niger State. The president says while flooding is a global phenomenon caused by climate change, citizens should not engage in activities which further compound the problem. President Tinubu mourns the lives lost and commends the bravery of the Adamawa and Niger State's emergency management agencies, local divers, volunteers and community leaders assisting in search and recovery efforts. The president, however, expresses concern that despite enlightenment efforts by the Federal Ministry of Environment, the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy and the National Inland Waterways Authority, these incidents continue to happen. The president calls on opinion leaders and concerned authorities to continue their advocacy on safety on the waterways, urging citizens and entrepreneurs using the waterways as a means of livelihood to ensure strict adherence to safety measures advocated by the regulatory authorities to put a stop to this needless loss of lives. Stay tuned for more reports in a moment. Now, Gombe State and local government areas work in collaboration for people-oriented development projects under what they call the Joint Development Project Council. The recent 6th meeting of the council has led to an agreement by stakeholders on key community development projects. Emmanuel Akila tells us what they are.
Provision of infrastructure in Gombe State is now premised on what the local government areas decide. During the 6th council meeting, approval is given for the upgrade of Kantoma Market in Billiri, additional works at Nalda Market in Yamaltodeba. For the people of Tumfre community in Akko local government area, who are enjoying roads network for the first time since the creation of Gombe State, it is lighting up of the newly constructed roads under the initiative with solar-powered street lights.
If the street light is here, that's a security.
When this road is constructed, we have a nice place, nice environment. Everything is now moving fine.
I used to close very early because the place is that. Well, once this street light is here, everywhere will be cleared. And once it's night, anywhere there is street light, it used to add beauty to that area.
Installation of solar street light at Birimpulani, Birimbolawa, Barwo Winde, Barwo Nasarawo, Jigawana, Kada, and Buduku.
Any local government that is interested in the power generation will be able to sign up a specific agreements for the benefit of power generation.
The Joint Development Project Council meet periodically to review the success of previous projects and for the local government areas to present the next aspects of development as suggested by the people. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
Ahmadiyya community worldwide wants global leaders to reconsider the current realities threatening world peace amid rising geopolitical tension. The focus at the International Convention Jalsa Salana in the United Kingdom with the theme Crossroads of Conflict, Where the World is Headed. Tope Alabi reports.
As some parts of the world grapples with escalating geopolitical tensions and conflicts, the Ahmadiyya community at this year's Jalsa Salana, its annual convention, is bringing together leading voices in journalism and activism in the United Kingdom and beyond to explore possible ways to resolve the situation. The panelists, including Peter Obon, a British journalist formerly with the Daily Telegraph, Abid Khan, Ahmadi's press secretary, expressed concern over what they described as risk of a nuclear war and called for suspension of hostilities and for peace to reign.
The United Nations is being hamstrung. The ICC is being threatened. And so all the organizations which were set up to stop a repeat of the catastrophic horror of World War II are now being undermined.
The people who haven't seen the horrors of war, do they actually understand what it will mean for all of us, for our children, for our grandchildren? And so I think it's a real threat.
As we all know, after the Second World War, the United Nations was created. And in its own words, it was to save future generations from the scourge of war, which has caused untold suffering twice in our lifetimes.
And I only pray that they use this to unite the world by making sure that their message of unity, even in our diversity, should be something that should resonate across the world.
You know that there are a lot of challenges universally now, and the JASA is focusing on, world peace. So it's very, very important and significant.
Conversations at this media parley want the global community to unite and stop groups who wish to spread hatred and ultimately destroy the peace of the world. From Auckland Farms in Alton, United Kingdom, Tope Alabi, NTA News.
Still on world peace, the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar, is to address the business session of the Religion for Peace World Council meeting in Istanbul, Turkey, tomorrow, Tuesday. In a statement, about 140 countries encompassing all religions of the world are taking part in the annual meeting. The Sultan says he will speak at the session, which focuses on examining the debt crisis, mitigating against growth and development of low-income group countries, and adopting strategies to extricate them. There'll be more reports in a moment. Stay tuned. Hope just got brighter, literally, for tens of thousands of inmates across Nigeria, with a new energy partnership lighting the path to reformation and rehabilitation, starting right from the heart of the nation's correctional system. Victor Azu has all the details.
It is much more than lights and solar panels. It is about second chances. Their mission to seal a partnership that brings clean, stable power to Nigeria's correctional centers, starting with the headquarters in Abuja. But this MOU didn't emerge in isolation. It follows an earlier meeting where the Controller General personally appealed to the REA for support, highlighting the urgent need to power learning, skills training, and essential services across custodial facilities. Today, that appeal becomes action. For inmates across the country, this partnership means more than electricity. It means light for classrooms, power for workshops, and energy for hope.
Bringing light to them is like bringing life. It turns almost everything around. Their vocational training, their educational training will be revolutionized. And when there is light in a facility, the issue of rehabilitation is faster.
And when asked how soon the journey begins, the REA boss confirms the correctional service is already captured in the agency's next deployment phase.
The next round of deployment of mini-grid, the correctional services will be included.
A conversation that began across the table has now sparked a national commitment. And when light returns to forgotten places, possibilities follow. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Thank you, Victor. Now, just before we go, just to let you know that President Bola Tinubu congratulates influential Lagos politician and former Minister of State for Defense, Senator Musiliu Obanikoro, on his 65th birthday on July 28th. An apex leader within the All Progressives Congress in Lagos State and member of the Governance Advisory Council, Obanikoro served as senator representing Lagos Central from 2003 to 2007 and later as Nigeria's High Commissioner to Ghana. President Tinubu highlights Obanikoro's significant contributions to Lagos State, especially as chairman of the Lagos Island Local Government and Commissioner for Home Affairs and Culture during his administration. Meanwhile, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu congratulates Senator Musiliu Obanikoro as he turns 65. In a birthday message where she joins the family and associates of Senator Obanikoro to mark the day, the First Lady applauds his meaningful contribution to national development as a lawmaker, minister and diplomat. She wishes the celebrant many more years in divine health, joy and peace. And on that uplifting note, we conclude the network news on NTA. Thanks for being a part of it. I'm Naja'atu Tijani.